Welcome back to Cheche, the program where opinion counts. Today's guests have a lot in common. They're both MPs, they share a political party, and they're both seen as rising stars within that party, ODM. So much so that they're running for the same post, Secretary General, in party elections next week. Rarieda MP Nicholas Gumbo and Budalagi MP Ababu-Namwamba are our guests today. And so we hear, as part of the controversy ahead of the elections, about calls to postpone these polls. What do you make of them, Mr. Namwamba?
I absolutely don't support that. This game is already on, and once the referee has blown the whistle and the ball is already moving, I mean, it's ridiculous that anybody would attempt to stop the game that is already on. The delegates are ready. The National Elections Board is telling us that it's ready to go. As candidates, we are ready. We've been on the campaign trail for weeks now. It would not serve any purpose really to postpone this election. Let us have it done and then focus on revamping the party. There's so many things that we need to address. Jubilee is mumbling and fumbling and tumbling its way around governance. We want to be ready to face them effectively and demonstrate that they're not fit to lead. And so let's get this thing out of the way. And
what do you think? Do you agree with that?
Time is now. Yeah, well, either way it's fine with me, whether we do it on the 28th. But of course, like I said, at the end of the day, what is important is that the objectives of the party is that at the end of these elections, we still must be a strong opposition party. So whether if postponing it will make us arrive at a leadership of the party that will project the aims of the party, I would have no problem.
You're very comfortable on this wall that you sit on.
Yes.
Because you're comfortable either way.
Yes. And
you won't tell us who your lineup is. So you seem to be trying to create as little friction as possible.
Yes, indeed, because I think that this for me is paramount, because you've seen the sort of stuff that has been coming out of these campaigns. Honestly, I don't agree with a lot of it, and I want the campaigns really to strengthen the party. Anything that would result in a weaker party is not good for us, is not good for the country.
Why don't we have the leader then appoint? In that case, there will be no problem. Why don't we have the leader appoint the people who lead the party?
No. Of course,
so that we don't have
that would be rather simplistic. That would be rather simplistic, because
that is the most peaceful way of doing things.
No. In your view, maybe, but
in your view,
no.
You don't want blood. You don't want to eat.
No. What I've said is that we have to have a process that has to make the party strong.
And let me describe you.
Yeah.
You come out as indecisive, not energetic, middle of the road, pacifists. Is that what ODM needs going forward?
You know, I think you are mistaking me.
My description of you is
in the business,
off the mark.
In the business that I do, which is politics, the ideal mean is not to say too much and not to say too little.
But you seem to be saying too little. You're playing your cards very close to your chest.
Yes.
Very cautious.
And so, unfortunately, the impression you're giving us here is that you will sit on your fence so comfortably that even the delegates who will be making the selections do not have a chance to get to know you.
The delegates are knowing me, and in fact, if I may take you about my political history, as I sit here today, I'm the first person in 25 years to be re-elected in Rarieda.
Yeah, that's true.
I did not do it through a bombastic campaign where I was all over the media. I did it my way, by targeting the core support groups, and that is what I'm doing with the
surprise package in this election.
And I can tell you, at the end of the day, I'll beat Mr. Namwamba and the rest, because I will do it my way. I know how to reach out to the delegates. We are talking about just about 2,003 to 3,000 individuals. Why would I hire choppers running all over the country? Why would I go to funerals telling people when I know that in a funeral, perhaps out of 1,000 people, there are only perhaps 25 people who I can get anyway, because that data is available at the party headquarters. So my approach, and I've said,
Smart campaigning.
I have a lot of misgivings about the way some of my colleagues have gone about their campaign, because in my view, it's not helpful to the party.
So let's come to the news of the day, this political deal to accommodate you know, your various ambitions, because that's what it seems like. You have this expanded leadership slots available now, accommodating gender, regional, and people with disability. What do you make of that? Do you think that's the way forward? Does it go far enough? Does it address your concerns about party disunity?
It may not address it absolutely, but it will address it to some extent. Because remember, like I said, of course I know Ababu here has something to offer. I have something to offer. He campaigned in the Reloaded. Incidentally, like I said, going again by my approach, not many people know that I also did the ODM Mashidani for the whole of Nyanza region, which I coordinated. But I did it my way, and in my view it was very effective. Because people would say that Nyanza is the bedrock of ODM.
Okay.
So
what do you make then
yeah.
of the comparison to this expanded list
Yeah.
to the coalition government, which was seen as being too bloated and didn't really do much for Kenyans? Is ODM now going along the same path, trying to accommodate individual ambitions, and at this, the reverse of which will be to, weaken the party?
It may not necessarily weaken the party, because if we expand, because like I said, you look at, for example, if we look at regional balance gender, we have to do regional balance, gender balancing and all that. It may not necessarily weaken the party, but what I said, and this is important, if we are going to end up with a list of committed men and women who have, because part of our problem that we have had, we have talked, for instance, a lot about the nominations, but that is really at the end of a long process.
Well, let's be categorical.
Yeah.
Let's be categorical.
Yeah.
The question to answer is, do you support the proposal to expand the party leadership to include new structures?
To some extent, but not.
That's not
So you put in the middle road
That is
again.
not categorical. Do you or not, because it's on the table and a committee has been set up, it's bringing back a report of that, if I'm not wrong. Do you support that way route?
Yes, I do.
You think it's the way to sort out this problem of... Because even within a set of 4, you can still achieve youth, gender balance and all these things.
Yes.
That's why, Udrak is saying, going back to the bloated system, the first ones. Kanu had first vice chairman, second vice chairman. I think in all positions there was 2 people.
You can tell us how many vice
Is that the way to
chairmen
go?
they were?
That is that cowardice?
But I have not seen the structure which is proposed.
Okay.
I've not seen.
They proposed to have us
I know that in one of our meetings we had agreed that we look at ways where we can expand some areas. Because, for example, if you look at the duties of the Secretary General, in my view, it is possible, for instance, to have 1 or 2 Deputy Secretary Generals, maybe one in charge of some role and another in sub. That it does not in any way dilute the functions of that office, as far as I'm concerned.
Let's see what
You want this?
No, just give you a chance to respond to the same question. What do you think about this expanded party list?
First of all, let me say that before I answer that question, that ODM does not need tentative approach to issues. ODM needs decisive, painful decisions to be made. And so, if you are going to be seeking a position in this party, to sit on the fence and take middle grounds, then you just dial the wrong number. Because that is not what this party needs. This party is at a stage where it needs a new zest, a new oomph. And that is not going to come by sitting on the fence and not taking a position either way. And let me tell you, leaders are put in office to make decisions. Often, more often than not, pretty difficult decisions. And I'm promising the party rank and file that with Ababu Namwamba you'll have a man who can take those difficult decisions. Now to this question of expansion of the size of NEC. Incidentally, my brother engineer was not in our caucus yesterday, where the candidates met the party leadership, including the party leader. This was presented to us and we expressed our view. My view about more people sharing positions is encapsulated in this little story about 4 people. Allow me just to share this story. A story about 4 people. Everybody, somebody, anybody, nobody. A job was to be done and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure that somebody would do it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do the job, but anybody realized that everybody would not do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when actually nobody asked anybody. My fear when you have 3 organizing secretaries, you have 4 vice chairmen, is that you're going to have a proliferation of persons sharing responsibilities, and each one of them sits back and imagines that the other one will do it anyway. And so you'll not have a scenario where one person sits back and knows the buck stops at me. We have had it before in the structure that we revised a couple of years ago. We, for instance, had several vice chairs. Margaret Ongoro was a vice chair, Elizabeth Ongoro, Margaret Wanjiru, Alfred Sambu, Saif Kajembe. You had so many vice chair that even the party rank and file did not know who the party national vice chair was. And so whereas I agree that maybe the party might want to relook at that structure, the answer may not lie in the proliferation of positions. Because remember, this is not about individuals. It is not about every individual getting a position. This is about the party.
But when that meeting yesterday,
I expressed, the meeting did not make a decision.
Yeah.
The meeting expressed its views very strongly.
Yeah.
And the party leadership decided that this matter will be presented to the National Governing Council tomorrow. And so the decision will ultimately be made by the National Governing Council tomorrow. But those of us who are wary about this structure, we expressed our views to the party leadership, and even at the NGC tomorrow, where some of us are members. I'm a member of the NGC by virtue of being a member of the parliamentary group. I will express my views as strongly as I did yesterday. And my view is that please don't look at this as being about the individuals running for positions. Look at this as the party. If I do not become Secretary General tomorrow, I do not want to be a third wheel in an expanded list of Secretaries General. I don't want to be a second, third Secretary General. I want to be the Secretary General. If I cannot be the Secretary General, I will support the Secretary General.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's listen to our viewers. Honorable Namwamba has been consistent, forceful and honest in pushing the agenda of our party, ODM, forward. Ababu, win the poll by 10 a.m. and clean up Orange House. But there's this from Isabel in Nairobi. Ababu's lineup reserves kitchen positions for women. Why not have at least one woman general at the heart and in the heat of things?
We have a lot of fantastic women on my lineup, by the way. I need to clarify that to my part. We have Rosa Bunu, the chair of the Orange Women League in Kisumu County, who is running for the position of organizing secretary, a fantastic lady who's been really a warrior for the party for many years. We have people like Rachel Ameso from Kakamega County, the Kakamega County women representative, running for the position of deputy treasurer, fantastic lady also. We have Hilda Lukalu from Bungoma County. We have Lucy Moria from Isiolo County, running for the position of Secretary for International Affairs. And so I said that the team, I did not name the complete team. I merely named persons with whom I share a previous history, and I believe that this team could be built around as the fulcrums of this team. So yeah, there is a good number of ladies.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Can you clear the issue on the can you clear the air on the issue being raised that you are a Jubilee project? What is it that you feel you can do afresh, which you didn't do when you were leading ODM Reloaded?
Yes.
To propel Odinga into State House?
Very quickly again to respond to that question. First of all, this whole thing of mall and that really is nonsense, and so I'm not normally in the habit of responding to non-issues. I know that in the heat of a political contest, people always come up with all sorts of propaganda. And I take solace from the experience of my party leader. My party leader has been called a communist. My party leader has been called an anarchist. My party leader has been called a coup plotter. Is he any of those things? Of course he's not. But his rivals have called him those things in the heat of a political contest. Is Ababu a mole? I would say, like